Unit 3, Chapter 15. Frankenstein's cat. Okay. Jenna. Jenna?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Jenna. Tell me, Jenna, what is this excerpt about? What does she talk about, the author? What does she want? Dear, what does she want? What does she talk about? Frankenstein's cat. Najwa, what does she talk about, dear?
It talks about like hybridization, like in dogs, how did they mix or clone genes?
Yes. Cloning animals?
Yeah.
Yes. Noor Bilal. What else she
Yes,
talked about?
she talked about the scientific experiments they do on organisms to
Yes,
change.
scientific, yes, experiences toward experiments.
Yes, experiments
Scientific experiments, yes, toward animals, yes.
to change how they behave.
Yes, and genetic interference
Yes.
and genetic modification.
Yeah.
Is she with or against Noor Yusuf?
Okay. Sorry.
No, she's against genetic modification and interfering with the genes of animals.
Yes, why did she call her excerpt from the title Frankenstein? Who is Frankenstein, Sarah?
He's the monster that they built. It's an imaginary one. They built mixed all the parts of a humans to create a monster. So it's like a human work, humans work. So that's why she said it's Frankenstein cats. It's like the same, but not a monster basically.
Yes, which character would we produce or create, right? Which character we are creating as scientists. Okay. Yesterday we stopped at Ghada. Ghada read. Jana, did you read yesterday? Jana?
No, Miss, I didn't.
Okay, start reading, dear. From here, passage 7. Do you see I shared it. Do you see it?
No.
I didn't share it. Here is it. Which is in line what, girls? Genetics isn't the only field.
I think 65.
65?
Yeah,
Yes, Miss.
55, yes, 55, line 55. Read it, Jana.
Miss Ghada
Yes.
read line 55 till 64.
Yes, you read this. We stopped at some of us, right? 65, yes, right, Jana.
Yeah.
It is line 8, line 65. Read, Jana.
Okay. Some of us may find our growing control over living beings to be unsettling. After all, biotechnology is the stuff of
Dystopian.
dystopian nightmares, and many an apocalyptic
Apocalyptic.
scenario has been constructed around crazy
Chimeras. Chimeras.
chimeras or world-conquering cyborgs. Ethicists and activities worry about whether we should be altering other species when we can't possibly get their consent. Some say that manipulating the planet's wild things, whether we're inserting genes or electrodes, is profoundly unnatural, causes animal suffering, and turns other life forms into commodities. Critics worry that our effort to remake the world's fauna is the worst example of human hubris, the expression of an arrogant desire to play God.
So let's concentrate here, girls, and we will underline the important part of the passage in order to get the main idea. I will explain it, okay, because it has lots of difficult meanings. Some of us may find our growing control over living, because we control over living, we are the humans, we control over living, breathing beings to be unsettling, over living, breathing beings, over anything which is being, anything is alive. We control over living, breathing beings to be unsettling. After all, biotechnology, from the word biology, technology related to biology, the parts of the body, is the stuff of dystopian nightmares. Dystopian means miserable, sad, black, okay? Is stuff of dystopian nightmares, black nightmares, miserable nightmares, catastrophe nightmares, or catastrophic nightmares, and many an apocalyptic scenario. Apocalyptic means here it's written for you. No, it's not written for you. Apocalyptic means ending of the world. Apocalyptic means the ending of the world, like this. There is a movie called Apocalypse, I think. Did you saw it, girls? Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, apocalyptic means, let me make you hear the word, because it's an important word to use. Here, apocalyptic. Maybe it has another.
Apocalyptic.
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 Do you hear it?
Apocalyptic.
Yes.
That's not a, it's a. Apocalyptic means apocalyptic scenario, ending scenario, okay? So has been constructed around crazy, okay? Had been, so this is a dystopian nightmare. Dystopian also is a very important word, girls, because it's used in literature a lot. So please underline it and write miserable nightmares. And many an apocalyptic scenario has been constructed around crazy chimers. What is chimers? Here, chimers is creature made up of parts from different animals. Like what? What is made of parts of different human?
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein itself, the title of our story. Okay? So, chimers is creatures made up of parts of the different animals. So has been constructed around crazy chimers, a creature compound of different parts of animals, or word conquering cyborgs. What is cyborgs? Cyborg here, organisms whose bodies include robotic parts like the robo turtle, okay, or the rat. So they are taking us into a world of cyborgs, animals with electronic chips in their bodies, or chimers, animals which are components or compounds of many other animals. Ethicists, those who study ethics. Sorry, I forgot that whenever I do this, it's ethic. What is it? Here. And activists worry about whether we should be alerting other species, and it's called species or species, girls. Both pronunciation is correct. Alerting other species or species when we cannot possibly get their consent. Some say that manipulating the planet's one, whether we are inserting genes or electrocodes when we interfere by genes or electrocodes is profoundly unnatural, against nature, causes animal suffering. You cause the animal to suffer when you insert an electrocode or electrochip inside an animal. You cause him to suffer because you make him act against his character traits or personality or inhabitant traits, and turns other life forms into commodities. Okay, so the critics worry that our effort to remake the words fauna, fauna is animal life, to make the words animal life what? The worst example of human hubris, the expression of an arrogant desire to do what, girls? Arrogant desire to do what? It's in front of you. To do what? Note. Arrogant desire to do what?
To change the genes as playing God.
Playing God. What is playing God? Ragad, are you here? Ragad? Dana Wael?
Can you hear me?
Dana or Ragad?
Yeah, but
Ragad. What is to play God? How playing God is related here? Do you hear me well, girl? Hello?
Yes.
is it by changing
So where are you?
animals?
Ragad, do you know the answer?
Changing the genes of the animals?
Yes, changing the genes of the animals, creating new breeds, creating new animals. It's like what? Because who is the only creature?
God.
Yes, so when you try to control, hysterically, to control the fauna is the animal life, it's like you achieve your arrogant desire to play God's role of creating. Thank you, Rod. Thank you,
Miss?
Joanna.
Miss,
Yes,
can I ask you something here?
yes.
Miss, here she mentions about like an arrogant desire to play God, but the entire like topic, it's scientifically related. And then most scientists, they do not have this concept of like playing God. Isn't this
Yes,
a
but
weak claim?
that's why she opposes them. Yes, most scientists, most of the scientists, they only depend on facts.
Yes. So how can she oppose them with something they don't like believe in, you know?
When I believe in God, I have to, how can I say it? I don't care if the person in front of me is not, does not believe
Yes,
in
of course.
any kind of, she's not talking about her God, she talks about any kind of God. So of course, and she is writing this document or this article, she writes it to the common people, okay? So this is a point because this is, it's what? It's like argumentative essay or persuasive essay, okay? She is what she is opposing. This is a one way to oppose their opinion, to show that their opinion is weak,
Yes.
okay?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Miss.
Welcome, dear. Okay, we turn the page. We go to 335, line 78. It's true. Joanna, are you here? Joanna? Asma? Are you here, Asma?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Asma, I didn't attend yesterday. Why?
Yeah, with Miss James was not working.
Okay. Nana Wael, you're here? Okay, Asma, ready, Asma.
Okay, Miss. It's true that remaking other species according to our own wants and needs doesn't necessarily put animal welfare first. Selective breeding hasn't always turned out well for animals. We've saddled dog breeds with all sorts of hereditary diseases and
Hereditary.
created turkeys with such uh,
Gigantic.
gigantic breasts that they can barely walk, and of course,
Gigantic breasts.
biotechnology gives us new ways to do damage. If
Yes.
there is if there is peril here, there is also great promise. Biotechnology could do more for animals than it's given credit for. Sure, we can make animals sick, but we can also choose to deploy our species-shaping powers to help other species survive and thrive, to create healthier, happier, fitter creatures. And some scientists are doing just that with with the
Sophisticated.
with the sophisticated techniques at our fingers at our fingertips. We may even be able to undo some of the damage we've done to other species, alleviating genetic disorders in dogs, for instance, or bringing wild animal populations back from the brink of extinction. Some forward-thinking philosophers are
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. So, girls, as we said here, she wrote an argumentative essay, okay, about the ethics of the genetic modifications in animal and how a person or scientist wants to create new creatures, new breeds, new and animals with electronic chips or electronic codes, okay, or new kind of animals, cyborgs, okay, okay. Then she says it's true that remaking other species according to our wants and needs. We want what we want the dog to hurt. We want a dog to protect us. So it should come from a wild wolf. This dog that protects homes should come from wild wolf. For example, we want like the picture we saw yesterday for the chicken. We want a fat, choppy chicken. So we play in the genes of the chicken to make it produce more meat. Okay, we play in the genes of sheep to create more wool. So doesn't necessarily put animal welfare first, because we want to change these animals. It doesn't put their necessary at the first. Selective breeding hasn't always turned out well for animals. When I select a breed and create a breed, it hasn't turned well for animals. We have saddled. Saddled is controlled, like controlled. Saddled, to put a saddle on it. This that they put on horse. We have saddle dog breeds with all sorts of hereditary diseases. Hereditary, it is inherited in a family that you inherited from their parents or from their ancestors. Hereditary diseases, and created turkeys with such gigantic breasts that they can barely walk. When they create a turkey with gigantic breast, why? To eat it in Thanksgiving. The turkey should be huge. How they do this? They play and they give it hormones, girls. Okay, so the turkey cannot walk because it's too heavy for its legs. And of course, biotechnology gives us new ways to do damage. The biotechnology, the technology in biology, gives scientists, not us, gives scientists new ways to damage. So what is the main idea here? Lina Ammar? Lina Ammar, are you here? Lin, you're here, but you do not answer me. Lina Ayad?
Yes, miss.
Lina Ammar or Lina Ayad? What is the main idea here that I read now, dear?
I'm Lin Iyad.
Lina Ayad, yes. What is the main idea here?
Selective breeding hasn't always turned out well for animals.
Yes. And what is another main idea we can say? Mm. Yes. Okay. So, according to our wants and needs, making other species according to our wants and needs doesn't necessarily put animal welfare first. Yes, this underline. We forgot to say here, girls, what is the main idea was here? Lujain, what was the main idea here? We said it, but we didn't underline it.
That critics worry that our efforts to remake the word's phone as the worst example of human hubris, the expression of an arrogant desire to play.
Excellent. So underline these 2 lines. Excellent. So Malak Wasim,
Yes, miss.
be with me, so you'll tell me the main idea here, you and Natalie. So if there is peril here, if peril is danger, if there is danger here, there is also great promise. Good thing. What is it? Biotechnology could do more for animals than it has given credit for. Sure, we can make animals sick, but we can also choose to deploy our species shaping powers to help other species survive and thrive. We can interfere. Scientists can interfere in the genes to make the species survive and thrive, to create them healthier, to make them happier, fitter critters. And some scientists are doing just that. With the sophisticated techniques at our fingertips, we have sophisticated complex techniques at our fingertips, means they are so easily to be used. We may even be able to undo some of the damage we have done to other species. We can fix it again. Alleviating genetic disorder in dogs. We can change it. For instance, or bringing wild animals populations back from the brink of extinction, because the wild animals are extincting. Okay, extinction, it means that they will not exist anymore. Some forward-thinking philosophers are dreaming of more extreme interventions, such as boosting the brain power of apes. Have you ever watched a movie about apes and how they are trying to interfere in the intelligence of apes to make them think as human, and then apes can conquer the world and they become the leaders of the world, and the Planet of Apes, it comes on NBC2 anyway. So some forward-thinking philosophers are dreaming of more extreme interventions. What they want, such as boosting. Boosting is raising the brain power of apes. Apes is the first kind of monkey. They say that it looks like human. And using genetic modification and electronic enhancement. Genetic modification, they interfere with the genes, and electronic enhancement, the electrochips, help animals transcend the limits of their own bodies. Transcend is to pass cross the limit of their own bodies. Okay, so Malak Wasim, what is the main idea here?
Yes, miss. So they are talking about the biotechnology and how we can use it to help species, or scientists use it to help species.
It's excellent. So biotechnology could do more for animals than it has given credit for.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, this is the main idea here. Okay, so we continue reading. Hold on, we are on page 336, line 100.
Yes, I mean the main idea. I cannot find it. Like I remember I read it.
Here is it, dear. Here is it. There is also great promise biotechnology to do more for animals. It's on line 86.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, girls, I changed the network. Lana, girls, do you hear me well?
Yes. Yes, we hear you.
Lana, read حبيبتي. We are on line 100.
1 second, miss. Yes, right now all the options are open, though biotechnology's strange new creatures are being created in the world's labs. They don't tend to stay there very long, and there are already cutting-edge animals living in fields, homes, and nature reserves across America. Do I complete?
Yes.
Most of us care deeply about some form of animal life, whether it's the cat or dog curled up on the couch. 60% of Americans share their homes with pets of one species or another, the chickens laying our eggs, or some exotic predator fighting to survive as its habitat disappears. Now that we can sculpt life into an endless parade of forms, what we choose to create reveals what it is we want from other species, and what we want for them. But even if you feel no special affection for the creatures with whom we share this planet, our reinvention of animals matters for us too. It provides a peek into our own future, at the ways we may start to enhance and alter ourselves. Most of all, our grand experiments reveal how intelligent entangled the lives of human and non-human animals have become, how intertwined our fates are.
Okay, stop here, dear. Thank you, Lana. Okay. Right now, all the options are open. Natalie, be with me. Right now, all options are open, though biotechnology's strange new creature, okay, are being created in the world's labs. The strange new creatures are being created in the world's labs by scientists. All options are open. They don't tend to stay there very long, and there are already cutting edge animals living in fields, homes, and nature reserves across America. In America, 60%, he says, most of us care deeply about some forms of animal life because most of the Americans have pets at their homes. And even in Arab countries, we either have, but we tend to have more cats because we have problem with dogs and if it's haram or not haram. So the Arab countries, they tend more to have cats at their homes. But in United States, 60% of Americans share their homes with pets of one species or another. They can have more than a cat, more one kind of animals, a cat and dog and this. The chicken laying our eggs or some exotic predator fighting to survive as its habitat disappears. So we have a chicken, even the chicken they interfere, as we said, they change the breed of the chicken to get more meat. So the chicken laying our eggs, or some exotic, strange predator that eats animals, fighting to survive as its habitat disappears. We change the word for them, we change the inhabitant place for them, so they have to change their habitat traits in order to adapt in life. Now that we can sculpt life into an endless parade of forms, we change it. What we choose to create reveals what it is we want from other species. We want what? What we choose to create specific kind of animals. It says what we want from other species and what we want for them. But even if you feel no special affection for the creature with whom we share this planet, you don't care with whom we share this planet, our reinvention of animal matter for us too. It provides a peek into our own future. We change how God created animals and what are the roles they play. We change it, so we have to be alert about our future and the ways we may start to enhance and alter ourselves. How we enhance and alter ourselves. It might affect our future. Okay? So here, Natalie, where is the main idea?
Yes, Miss. That we choose to create.
Wait a minute, I just didn't finish this. We read this. Most of all, our grand experiments reveal how entangled, complex, the lives of human and non-human, we are entangled together. Lives of human and non-human are together. For example, if we kill an owl, the owl eats rats. So the rats number will increase. If we kill the snakes also eat rats. If we play and we kill an animal, we play in this arrangement of the animal cycle, okay? We have to worry about our future. What will happen when this animal extinct? So most of all, our grand experiments reveal how entangled the lives of human and non-human animals have become. Our lives and the non-human lives are entangled together. We are one unit. Okay, because we live on one planet. How interviewed our fates are. Intertwined our fates are. Intertwined, like. Okay, so here, where is the main idea, dear Natalie?
That what we choose to create reveals whatever we want from other species and we want from them, and that all living things' lives are entangled.
Yes, excellent. All living things' lives are entangled. So underline this, how entangled the lives of human and non-human animals have become. Continue reading, Natalie.
Yes.
From here, the last two lines.
Enterprising scientists and philosophers are dreaming up all sorts of projects that could alter the courses of our collective future.
Yes. Enterprising scientists, entrepreneurs, and philosophers are dreaming up all sorts of projects that could alter or change the course of our collective future. Okay? You understand, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
We will stop here and then take your 5 minutes break, and we meet 9:35 because I took 5 minutes of you. Or no, we still have. Yes, 9:35. Okay, don't be late. 9:34. Okay. Right.